Hello. This time, make sure everything is up. This time, as I was riding today to the doctor, and I've been dealing with something myself about forgiveness. And that's a touchy subject for me. Forgiveness. And the Bible talks about forgiveness, and God gave a formula about forgiveness when they asked him how many times should we forgive, and he said 70 times 7. And that's real. Are you going to allow someone to step on your toes or do you wrong 490 times in a day? Nobody in their right mind will allow someone to step on their toes that many times in a day. So as the Lord began to deal with me about forgiveness, all of us have had someone that hurt us in their life, and we've had to forgive. I've been dealing with some issues about some deep hurts in the last years. And I'm like, Lord, help me to forgive them, because the hurt was deep. It was deeper than a person could think, and I've cried. And how can I talk tonight about forgiveness when, like I said, this is a touchy subject for me? And maybe this will help me to deal with forgiveness. And God allowed me to know this. The reason why some people don't forgive, number one, because in their mind they feel as though if I forgive, then I have to deal with that person. The Bible didn't tell me I had to deal with you. Listen, the Bible says I have to forgive you. And Jesus Christ is the only one. God said he would cast it into the sea of forgetfulness. He didn't tell me I had to. He just told me, read your Bible now. He just said I had to forgive. But I don't have to deal with you after I forgive you. People think that. I don't have to deal with you. And that's why it's hard for some people to forgive, because they feel once I forgive you, that means I got to deal with the same person that hurt me. No, the Bible didn't tell me I had to deal with you. I can cut you loose. I really can cut you loose. I don't have to deal with you. But I have to forgive you. And that's one reason why some people don't forgive. It's because they feel like, well, my cousin did such and such to me. And you mean to tell me that I got to forgive them? And no, yes, you have to forgive them, but you don't got to deal with them. And that's what God began to deal with me. Jawanda, you have to forgive that person, but you don't have to deal with them. But then they feel as though because I haven't dealt with them, I haven't forgave them. No, sweetheart, I forgave you. I just don't deal with you because you're poison, or you're I don't like what you do. I don't like how you treat me. I don't like how I feel when I'm around you. I don't like where you take me, or I don't like how you take me out of my character, because that's how the devil used you to take me out of my character. So because of that, I forgive you for your actions, but I can't be around you. That's one reason why people don't forgive, because they feel like they got to be around. Then God began to deal with me about when another reason why too. Sometimes when people come to you, they say, okay, in relationships, let's say I'm in a relationship, let's say with my daughter, and she lives with me, and she says, Mama, and she hurts me, okay. Or let's say she takes my ice cream, just for an example, something simple, and I've been wanting that ice cream, and we fuss over that ice cream. No, that's not a good example. Got to get some deeper than that, because it's a deeper ending. let's say she steal from me. And she stole something out of my house. And because she stole something out of my house, she got out of my house. And so we make up, we hug, we kiss. So she immediately feel what? She can come back in my house. No, stop. Wait a minute. Let me put some Jesus in it. Just because I forgave you doesn't mean you start back where you stopped. That means we got to start all over again. That don't mean you come back where you started at. That don't mean you come pack your bags and come right back and we continue. That only means that I forgave you. We can work on our relationship. But you're not coming back in my house yet because I have to rebuild my trust. And the first thing they said was, you forgave me. But Jesus Christ said, he's the only one, pretty much. He didn't say, he just told me I had to forgive you. He said he will cast it into the sea of forgiveness. I haven't forgotten that you stole from me. You know what I'm saying? So because I haven't forgotten that, I'm not going to let you back in my house. Because the reason why you got out my house was because you stole. So therefore, because you stole, you got to earn my trust. So therefore, that's why I talked about forgiveness. This was a hard one. Forgiveness. It was a hard one for me. Because, I got hurt. I've been hurt in the last couple of years. Deeply, deeply hurt. And sometimes we can get so hurt and scarred because an individual can hurt your heart so much over and keep pulling the scar off. It never gets healed. And they can keep hurting you so much and hurting you so much and hurting you so much. And it's so deep that only God himself can help you to forgive that person. And when it's like that, you have to go to God and ask him, I need you to help me to forgive this person. Help me to let it go. Because it's so deep. It's not a surface wound. It's a deep wound. And those type of wounds, I believe God will help you with. And I think this is going to be the shortest video I did because it's nothing more I can say about forgiveness. Is what I just said. The reason why some people don't forgive again is because they feel as though if I forgive you, that means that you have to be in my life. God didn't say you had to be in my life. And that's not a sign of me forgiving you. Is you in my life. And I'm going to tell you this. I was in a situation where I had did something to someone. And we talked and I asked them to forgive me. And we got through that. But they was in a position where I went to them and I asked them to do something for me, to help me out with something. And their return was, but sometimes you put yourself in situations and because of that, things happen. Well, they was in a position where they could help me. But that taught me something. That taught me, really, it wasn't true forgiveness there. Because true forgiveness make you help people who have done you wrong. Come on now. Hope I get a heart with that. True forgiveness will help you bless your enemy. True forgiveness really wasn't an enemy. True forgiveness will help you to bless your... I don't know how to do all this stuff. True forgiveness will help you to bless your enemy. Yes, it will. True forgiveness will have you to, once your enemy have told you and hurt you and apologized to you, and you tell them, I forgive you, they can come to you and ask you for a glass of water, and you will hand them the water, the sandwich, and the chips. Because you have truly forgave them. That's what true forgiveness does. But when you are not able to do that to the person that has hurt you, that means you haven't truly forgave. And that's just point blank. Point blank. And I know that because I can testify to that. Point blank. My ex-husband hurt me to the core. I didn't think I would ever recover from that relationship. But now my ex-husband can come here. He could, I mean, even back then, he could, when I was an employer, he could come to my house if he wanted to. He could eat at my table. We could go out because I truly forgave him. Truly forgave him from my heart. He could come here right now if you want to, because I truly forgave him. And people can testify to that saw us. They didn't understand how Joanna can be around Gilbert and his wife at the time, his ex-wife now, how he could be around. Yes, because I truly forgave him. And we truly forgive someone. Your ex can become your friend without an intimate relationship. Because I thought of him as a friend. He went from my husband to my ex to my friend because I truly forgave him after a point. It took a while. You have to ask God to help you, but to let it go. But I was able to do it. So, because of that fact, that's why I just had to say it a little bit tonight. The people said, and I was told by a good friend, a good pastor that I had when I was an employer. And she's right. She said that, and I've heard this, and I believe this, that, forgiveness frees you, and it does. Forgiveness frees you from the individual. And it has nothing to do with the other individual. It has something to do with you. But just because you forgive, again, I don't know why I have to say this, just because you forgive, it doesn't mean you have to deal with the individual. It does not mean you have to deal with the individual. It just means you have forgave them. And you can go on. And stop allowing people to make you live as if you have to, okay, God. Even when we do wrong, because I've done wrong like anybody else. Even when we do wrong, once we've asked to be forgiven, don't make them make you a slave to them. Meaning, because I've asked, I didn't mean to talk this way, but I'm led this way. Just because I asked, I've done wrong to you, I'm not going to be your slave. I'm not going to, because I done wrong, I took your cat. Okay, I took your cat out your yard. But forgive me. Do you forgive me? Yes, I forgive you, Joanna, for taking my cat out the yard. Okay. I'm not going to keep bringing you pies and cakes and chips, watching you cheering, cutting your grass, taking you downtown. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to become your slave because I did you wrong. Once I ask you for forgiveness, I'm done. Whether you forgive me or not, that's between you and God. I don't owe you nothing else. Unless I took your cat, I killed your cat. And because I did that, I owe a doctor bill or a burying charges. Yes, I need to pay that. But I'm not going to be your slave. Don't make the people that you have wronged, allow them to make you become their slave. Vice versa. Don't you make people that have wronged you become your slave. Because in reality, all they owe you, all they really owe you is I apologize for how I have treated you. If they choose, this is a hard period to think. If they choose to do more, that's fine, unless you're in a marriage where, 50-50, 75, you got children, and they do right like that. But in reality, if I wronged you, I really just owe you, and I apologize. And that's the truth. I never got that from the man who killed my babies in the accident. I never got. I apologize for the accident of me killing your babies. I never got that. Even when my dad hurt me, he hurt me when he didn't show up at my wedding. And it wasn't so much that he didn't show up at my wedding. The excuse he gave me, I just didn't understand. I really didn't understand it. And then the whole situation was all messy. And that hurt me to the core. But even to that, it wasn't I'm sorry, but that's all you really owed is. And how do you forgive when you don't get I'm sorry? Like all of these issues that I'm saying is things you take to God. People can't tell you, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Like a recorder. You know what I'm saying? Let it go, let it go, let it go. Those things you take, I'm not laughing, but those things that you take to God, and it says, because only God can help you. Those are the things you take to God and say, you know what, y'all need to stop. You need to stop listening to those voices. And those things you take to God in your relationship. And it might sound simple, but that's the only person that's going to help you mentally and wholeheartedly get to the position where you can get to forgive. Because forgiving is a hard task. Forgiving is truly a hard thing to do when your heart has been broken, when your heart is hurting. Because when your heart is hurting and your head is heavy, it's hard to function. It takes over your day. It takes over your night. It just takes over everything. It puts you in a zone that's not normal. And only God can help you deal with that. Nobody can help you get through that. So you need to ask God to help me to forgive. That's a hard thing. They went to him. I was like, how many times? It's not easy. That's why we got to go to God and say, God, help me. It's not that you don't want to. They say it like it's easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to forgive. It's not as easy when it hurts your heart. It's easy for me to forgive you for taking my candy or something, but it's hard when you got a heartbreak. When it deals with your heart being broken, it's hard. It's hard sometimes. And you have to go to God. Those are times I'll go to God and say, God, I want to forgive because I don't want to hold this, because I know it's not pleasing you, but I need you to help me. Help me to forgive, to let go of this, what I'm feeling, because I don't like it, because I know it's not pleasing you. And God will do that. And one day, trust me, my ex-husband would not split up. He left me, and to bring it clearer, in 1998. I can't tell you what day I choose to let go. But when God helped me to let that go, it was gone. When I tell you it was gone, God helped me to get over that, and it was gone. It was nothing, no residue. It wasn't even enough there to rekindle if I wanted to rekindle. It was nothing. That's right, Amanda. It wasn't nothing there to rekindle it. It was amazing. When God does something, he takes it all. He take every cookie, crumble, it be clean. It don't be nothing left. But even to that, God can help you to forgive. But that's what I wanted to talk about. Don't make people be crippled to you. Don't make people crippled to you that's asking for forgiveness. And don't you be crippled to nobody that you were seeking forgiveness from. Because don't let nobody hold nothing over your head. And everything that's hard that has hit your heart, you take to God. And ask God to help you to forgive that. And also remember. Even though you have forgiven someone, they do not have to be your friend. You do not have to put yourself back in their life. You do not have to go back in their life. You don't have to put yourself back in their surroundings. You don't have to do any of that. God didn't tell you had to do that. You don't have to. If you want to, it's fine. You don't have to go back. You don't have to go back like it was. You can say, I don't like the atmosphere. I don't like where you put me. I don't like how you treat me. And because of that, I forgive you, but I got to let you go. Because you take me somewhere that I don't want to go. And It can even be family. And because of that, you are better out my life than in. But I love you though. But I can't do this. Can't do this. And you know what? They might be mad, but that's okay. Because you the one that got to stand before God. And that's all I have to say about that. This was a hard one for me. Whether you believe it or not. I hope it blessed somebody. I hope it blessed somebody. I hope I had to do it. I had to do it. I hope it blessed somebody tonight. Y'all be blessed and keep me in your prayers. I had a procedure done today. Not feeling my best at all. But I had to do this. I have to do it. But be blessed and keep me in your prayers. No, I'm not preaching, Wanda. I do inspirational stuff that God lead me on my heart to do. I'm not preaching. Oh, man, I'm not preaching. Just talking. All right. Be blessed.